Yeah, sorry, the AC is down, so I just don't turn on the camera.
No problem at all. That's just
Yeah.
fine. Oh, nice to see so many familiar names coming in here.
Oh, so many people.
Hello, Adam.
Hello.
Yeah, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. It's pretty hot today.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's a beautiful day. I am.
Yeah,
Sun
it is
shining.
gorgeous. We're just going to give everyone a few minutes to join here. We still have people joining the waiting room as we're getting in here. I just threw a link in the chat if anyone wants to put anything in the chat, or if you want to go ahead and use that link to let us know how you're feeling as we wait for everyone to get started. Such a great group. Oh, I hope everyone's ready to talk and share their experiences. This is awesome. And
It's gonna be so much fun.
pardon?
It's gonna be so much fun.
So fun. Special hello to Mike Stanzel. Good to see you.
Hello.
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 Okay, Adam, do you want to go ahead, and as people join the waiting room, I'll just let them in?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay.
We're recording this session, and we'll be just sending it out to all of you as a point of reference for afterwards. So that's the whole point of the recording. That's where it goes.
Seeing the AI note taker in the chat. Anyways, we'll get started. Hello, everyone. My name is Adam Drinkinson. I'm glad you could all make it to the first EIR training session. It's gonna be fun. The first of 4. I'm excited to see you guys. Come to more. To get started, we'll meet the team. My name is Adam Turkington. I'm a summer internship at Engineers of Tomorrow. I'm a mechanical engineering student at University of British Columbia. This is Sarah Rishu and Rebecca White, my coworkers.
Rebecca couldn't join us today. You'll see her in all the other training. Very exciting. Her daughter graduated from high school this year, and they're on a special trip to celebrate her this week. So you'll see her next week.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Today I'll be covering 4 main topics, starting with a little bit about Engineers of Tomorrow and EIR as a whole, then moving into expectations and objectives for the EIR program. After that, we'll run through some model scenarios and breakout rooms, discussing ways to overcome possible obstacles. Finally, we'll take some steps that you should do after this meeting to set yourself up for success this fall. However, just before we start, I'd like everyone to either scan this QR code or just click the link that's in chat. It's the same link that's on the screen. This is a Slido. There'll be 5 emojis. It's just how you're feeling for this fall. I'll wait a short minute. Yeah.
And I'll just say again, if anybody has questions throughout the meeting, please go ahead and put them in the chat. You're also welcome to unmute yourself and jump in with questions to Adam while he's speaking through the slides.
Of course. I'm a friendly guy. I'm not too scary. Even though I got a nice, little nice scar.
Okay. Oh, people are feeling pretty good. Got lots of people there.
Good to hear.
Excellent. Thanks, everyone.
Sweet. Okay. Well, it seems mostly everyone has gotten their Slido in, so we'll move to the next slide, which is our values moment. At Engineers of Tomorrow, we recommend these 4 values as a tool to seem genuine. However, they're not necessarily what we insist you do. If you have another way to seem genuine, feel free to do that. I'll now share one experience where I demonstrated these values. It was in first year university. I was on a team with a couple of other members for a class. We ran into a critical flaw in this final stage of building our project. Some people on our team weren't communicating the best, and we ran into some holistic effectiveness issues there on the left. This led to a critical issue being in our design, just 2 days left until the due date. I feel that our entire team demonstrated agile innovation as well as human-focused teamwork in being able to backtrack our steps and figure out not only a design that works, but a much better design for a project. I'd like to open up the stage for anyone else if they feel comfortable sharing their values or an experience where they demonstrated any. And if not, then
If you're new to the EIR program, I know we have some veterans here on the call, which is super cool. But if you're new to this, when we spoke this year, you might have had a conversation with me about a values moment. This is something that's really important to me as we move forward with EIR programming, especially given some of the numbers we're seeing out of universities. Now more than ever, a lot of kids are telling us that they really want to do a profession that can really help them influence people directly and their communities directly. And so I think now more than ever, if we can connect with students in a really authentic way and help them see the very personal impact that their work can have as an engineer, I think that can be really impactful for them and really important. So if you haven't thought about our values and how you might share this with the classroom, I think this might be a great time to do that as you prepare for the fall. Really think about how you can take a human first approach to the work that you're doing in the classroom. Does anyone have an example of a value that they want to share that they've lived in their personal life or their work?
Yeah, I've got one to share if you need an example. Yeah, so just in terms of general work or whatever, I'm in the construction industry, specifically cement and concrete, and I sit on 2 standards committees under CSA, the Canadian Standards Association, for the standards for cement and concrete. Within those committees, we're actually looking to ensure that we have a balanced matrix of diverse opinions on that in a number of senses. You know, the first is obviously in terms of interest groups, where you have some people that are producers, some people that are using the product, some people that are academics, some that are from specifying authorities, etc. So you've got all of those different opinions as to, you know, what's important for the product and the specifications to ensure that all of those interests are being represented. On top of that, in terms of, you know, technical diversity, we also look for geographic diversity as well, where, you know, we want representatives from Western Canada, from Central Canada, from the Maritimes, because the environments are very different. The practices in the field are somewhat different. So we're looking to bring those perspectives in as well to ensure that all the local geographic concerns can properly be addressed with the standards as well. So, you know, fully committed to the idea that the you know, diversity and different perspectives are important to understand and consider and build through a consensus-based system to come up with the specifications that are going to meet the requirements of all of those different groups as best they can.
Oh, I love that story. Thanks, Mike. That's amazing. I think that really, that kind of story really helps kids to understand how engineering can be impactful right there in your own community, and thinking about others across Canada and how our communities do differ. That's an amazing story. Very cool. Thank you.
Okay. With that, we'll continue over to the next slide, which is, what is engineers of tomorrow? I'm sure most of you, or some of you, who are veterans, are maybe a bit bored by this, but hold on, I'll be quick. Engineers of Tomorrow is a national non-for-profit company which is dedicated to transforming the engineering profession by working with engineers and educators of today in order to shape the next generation of engineers tomorrow. At Engineers of Tomorrow, our main program is the EIR program. It was originally founded in 1998 by professional engineers of Ontario. The program pairs engineers with schools in order to give presentations, activities, and other STEM activities. Since 1998, the number of EIRs in classes have been growing at a staggering rate. The average trend of these numbers show great things for the EIR program. However, you may notice that the EIR classes is slightly down. This is why EIRs are demanded, and mostly Victoria and the Western GTA are two examples of areas that need EIRs. However, it's not as simple as this. Here's a map that shows all of the engineers and schools participating in the EIR program. As you can see, the purple hikers are the EIRs, and the orange houses are the schools, in a sense. You can see most of the engineers and schools are in the GTA and surrounding communities. However, there is also examples of schools that have no engineers or engineers that have no schools, which we'd hopefully get to tackle soon. How does the EIR program work? It works via matching you, the engineer, up with an educator in the classroom. There are so many resources we have along the way to help you. However, if you don't like our resources or you don't like the way I talk or something, you can totally do it in your own way and communicate with the teacher if you're confident. The three main goals that we have at EIR is first getting the students to stretch their engineering thinking skills while maintaining a positive environment. Secondly, we believe that every single student has a place in engineering. And we say the more diversity, the better when it comes to generating ideas, which is what we need to do. And lastly, we want to show the students what a real engineer looks like. That's why we use the engineering design process to solve real problems in real time. Other objectives include getting the students curious about what engineers actually do, as well as introducing them to STEM and how STEM is applicable to their lives. This is a timeline over the next couple of months that's pretty rough. It's not that in depth of leading up to the fall school term. You'll notice that in August, I put communicate with your teachers. This is just, we recommend you reach out to the teachers as soon as possible, as they're currently on break, and you can't expect them to respond that quickly if they're on break. It's summertime. In October to May, you may notice that the class visits targets is once per month. This is the goal that we have set. However, it's not what we expect. Well, all that we expect is for you to contribute however much time you have to devote. What we do ask of you is to be honest to your teacher on how much availability you'll have. Another thing to think of when you're in the classroom is here on the bottom, responsible social media practices, photo release consideration if you're taking photos of the students, and mostly having the teacher in the classroom with you at all times, because if you're not, the kids can get pretty scary because engineers are very cool and it's pretty scary. Here's some roles and responsibilities for not just you, but also the teachers. For example, what we expect of you is to basically proactively communicate with the teachers for as early as possible in order for the best chance of success. However, the teachers should also be preparing their students for your visits. And I would like to state that you, as the engineer, are not in charge of managing the classroom. That is the teacher's job. The reason that that's the teacher's job is because there's so many possibilities of things that can go wrong, little obstacles in the way. In order to deal with this, I'm going to split you guys up into 5 breakout rooms in hopes that you can come into teams and come to a consensus on what to do in a certain scenario. For example, I have 5 here. First is not being able to contact your teacher in a sense. Second could be disagreeing with your teacher on the format of the visit. Third could be students being excluded by an activity via other students. Fourth could be a teacher misunderstanding how the program works. Or 5, students misbehaving or goofing off. So now I'm going to ask Sarah to split us up into 5 breakout rooms and we'll have a bit of a chat.
I'm going to go ahead and create 5 and have everyone assigned automatically. So you should see a little window pop up. We'll give you about 5 minutes to chat about these common issues. And just to echo what Adam said, choose one, or if there's another issue that you've experienced that you want to share and have a discussion about, by all means. And then when we come back, we'll ask people to share out. So I'll do that now. We'll give you 5 minutes until 12:20 or 9:20 where I am. Here it comes. Okay.
Should be asked to join a room. Whatever room you're joining is the number on the issue, I guess.
Lael, do you want to join one of the rooms too and help them with the conversation? It looks like Adam's in one, so one of the other one.
Hi, Sarah.
Hi.
I don't think any of us wrote down the 5 topics, and so we weren't sure if we were assigned one or if we should pick one.
You can just pick one, whatever common issue you've experienced or expect you might experience. So it could be something like mismatching expectations with the teacher, or if the students are being disruptive, making sure that there's diversity in how you talk to the class. So if girls are being not included, just whatever. There should be some veteran EIRs in your room, so I hope that they're willing to share, but just a discussion about how you would deal with those types of things.
Okay, and then how do I get back to the room?
I don't know. I'm wondering that too, because we've had people join.
So sorry. I said I'd ask and go back.
Is it giving you an option now?
No.
I don't know.
I can, if I say, oh, I think if I leave, I'm going to leave the whole thing too. So, oh, breakout rooms. Which one was I in? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I didn't look.
You were in 3.
3. Okay. I
Oh,
will
I
see.
can move you. There. Did you get it? Good.
Hi, Sarah, it's Victoria. I
Hi.
drop out and then come back again.
Okay. I'm trying to
You can
figure
put anywhere, yeah.
out. They're actually going to be finished in about 1 minute, if you don't mind.
Oh, it's okay. I'll just wait here then.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, everyone, we'll just take another 20, 30 seconds or so and then come back to the main room. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you had some good conversations over there. Adam, do you want to go ahead and share your screen again?
Oh, of course.
And thank you to everyone for letting me know that my attendance form isn't working. I apologize for that. I think this final link I just put into the chat should be working.
It's just
Okay.
looking
How
on,
did that?
it doesn't work.
It doesn't work, James? Ugh,
Working for me.
we'll get it. We'll figure it out.
Oh no.
Sorry about that technical difficulty. So how did that go? I know that it was a little bit ambiguous what the discussion might be about, but I hope you found some interesting stories to tell and talk about. Did anybody want to share out what their room talked about?
Sure, I can do that. I think I was being volunteered just as the session ended. But our topic was number 2 on we don't agree, we're with the PowerPoint presentation or whatever. But we had the discussion that ultimately, what you need to do is understand your audience and ask yourself what they're going to be getting out of that, what they're hoping to get out of that, and to tailor the presentation accordingly. And an example being, including university level physics for a grade 4 classroom sort of thing probably isn't going to go over that well. So you want to adapt as necessary, and also coordinate with the teacher ahead of time. Send them what you're thinking of presenting, or what activity you're thinking of doing. See if they feel it's appropriate beforehand, and try to come to that consensus first. And also to include a good balance of perhaps the theory or whatever, along with the hands-on demonstration, because different people learn through different methods, and some are going to get a lot out of the activity. Some might get a little bit more out of the discussion, but try to include that balance so everyone's included.
I really like that example. That's really good, Mike. Thank you. I think generally speaking, you should be able to expect the teacher to manage behavior in the classroom. That's not your role. You're there to teach the kids about yourself and what you do and about engineering. And so I would really look to the teacher for guidance on what level the kids are at, what type of information they're curious about. And again, really look to them to manage the classroom when kids are goofing off and that kind of thing. And I would really suggest talking about that with them frequently. So when you first talk to the teacher, definitely go through your goals and expectations with them, and then provide feedback along the way. So if you go in the classroom and it feels like it's just a big mess and the kids aren't at all behaving, talk to the teacher, ask them, what could I have done differently? And ask for their support along the way. I know that can probably be really frustrating to go in a classroom and not have the kids' attention. And so, yeah, definitely share that feedback with the teacher and look to them for support in that. And again, they do know their kids best. And so if they're giving you guidance on how much attention span the kids have, I would really try to listen to that. Any other stories out of the breakout rooms anyone wants to share?
Yeah, so we actually spoke about the first one, really talking about, issues actually communicating with the teacher. That was actually my experience. So things we came up is really having an upfront discussion about, the different ways of communication, the different expectations, right? So, turnaround time for, any communication you had before, you actually have with the teacher. But it can be an issue, and what I thought I felt was the teacher didn't really want to be part of the program. The school had a big push on technology. They had a lab, and they had, lots and lots of STEM and technology. My feeling was the teacher wasn't really committed. I tried lots of different things. I got the EIR management involved, but it just didn't actually get anywhere. So for sure, I think setting up clear guidelines of communication, expectations. But the problem is if you can't collaborate, it's, you can't fix any potential challenges which, are actually happening. So, pretty frustrating, and definitely can try a few things. But the end of the day, like if the teacher's not committed, the teacher's not committed. So.
Yeah, like I'm really glad that you raised that. I think that is something that definitely comes up a lot with the work that we do. There has to be that commitment from both sides, from the engineer and from the teacher. And I really appreciate you mentioning, like, definitely reach out to us. Let us know if you need help. Let us know if it's not working. We can definitely talk to the principal and find out what's going on in the school. But at the end of the day, you saw Adam's map earlier. We have so many classrooms that want engineers. We just don't even have enough. So let us know if it's not working, and we would be happy to rematch you. One thing I'll note, though, is that some teachers, school boards have firewalls on their email. Definitely talk to them about that up front at the beginning and ask them, do you anticipate any issues with us using email as our main form of communication? If your emails aren't getting through, that can be really frustrating. And potentially you might just have to use their personal email, or maybe use their phone number and have phone calls, or use text as a way to connect with them. But at the end of the day, if it's not working, let us know. There's nothing more frustrating to me than when I find out in May that, hey, someone wasn't able to get a hold of someone for the entire year and I had no idea. And so send me an email, reach out to us, and we're happy to help with that too. Any other stories anyone wants to mention? The one of all these 5 scenarios, the one that's really close to heart for me is girls not being included. I find that really frustrating when girls and boys can have, the way it's described in here, that this is all boys stuff, when girls and boys feel that way in the classroom. And I hope that you can all bring your authentic selves forward and share with them that, hey, this isn't all boys stuff. This is important for boys and girls. And hey, engineers have so many cool characteristics and personal qualities and skills that run the gamut of things. It's not just about math or science, but engineers are really good at working on teams, building plans for events and activities and projects, and speaking in front of people. And hey, I believe that that's girl stuff and boy stuff, including the math and the science. And I think it's a profession that all of you can consider, and it's not just boy stuff. So I hope you'll be honest with them if that kind of thing comes up. And we do have a session coming up in the next couple of weeks on diversity in the classroom, and I hope you'll attend that training session as well, where we'll talk a little bit more about how to deal with this sort of thing.
Well, I do have a positive feedback. At some point, we had a meeting last week with the teacher, actually 2 of them. Michael was present there, Michael Plata. You would confirm it there. The teacher exactly did the opposite what we describe as a struggles. She came up forward with the working out of silos, making sure that it's a teamwork. She came up with this idea that actually there will be more presence of girls because they do have kind of engineering mind, according to her. And she came up right away with the communication schema. Okay, how we do that. So to bypass the firewall, for example, she offered to use the WhatsApp, which is a commonly used application and easy to use, understandable by everyone. So we agreed to create the group and communicate to that group at some point. So this was a good example and quite a but a positive outcome that I liked from there.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Dimitri. I'm so glad to hear that. Dimitri's matched with a school in the Limestone District School Board in Kingston, and they definitely have a lot of support for STEM. And so I hope that the rest of you find that you have that same kind of experience where the teachers are all in. And we have asked them to talk about expectations, just like we're talking to you about it. And I'm so happy to hear, Dimitri, that that's working for you. It looks like, Aisha, you have your hand up. Is there a story you want to share?
Yeah, I saw around the girls are being included part. I make a point in every presentation I make to kind of like point to myself. That's like, look, I'm a girl, I'm a woman of color, right? So I check those boxes as well. So it's not isolated to just one type of person that can be in engineering. And I'm also in a atypical type of engineering too. I'm an industrial engineer. And of course, they look at me funny. He's like, what's that? So I explain that to them. And they're like, oh, I didn't know that you can do that as an engineer. It's like, yes, you can. I particularly zero in on girls that aren't speaking. I purposely pick on them to kind of draw them out. I had one, I think it was last year, I had grade 7, 8, and there's a couple of girls there that were like, oh, we're not good at this. I'm like, well, you have to be good at math. I was like, I sucked at math and I'm still an engineer. And they're like, really? I was like, yeah, really. A lot of us suck at math just because, like we love the sciences. Math is kind of like a necessary evil to do the kind of work you're doing. But if you love problem solving and you love figuring things out and you love putting things together, you can be an engineer. You don't have to be like a math genius to do it. They're like, really? I was like, yeah. So I make a point of doing that. No matter what age I'm talking to, I make sure and I make them aware. Even for the boys too. Some of the boys think the same thing. Right? So I'm like, well, you don't have to be good at math for that either. And I was like, the boys are like, oh, okay. Well, I guess I can do this, right? So I tried to point at everyone, but I particularly zero on the girls when I do my presentations.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that, Aisha. I'm an industrial engineer too, and I do business process optimization. And I give myself permission to call that engineering because I really, truly believe that it is. And I draw on skills that, just like you, aren't the ones that you naturally might think of as engineering if you think about just a traditional path. Wonderful. Thank you all so much for sharing. That's amazing.
Okay. We'll continue going then. So if we ran into a different form of obstacle, so maybe one that wasn't covered in the breakout room, we have many resources that could help you down. On the EIR website, we have something called the library of lessons. This contains a whole bunch of lessons that can be filtered for a specific grade or subject or both. It doesn't really matter. We also have our EIR Discord server, which is an amazing resource if you want answers quickly. Because there's almost always someone online, but if there isn't, you can just put it in the chat, and the next person who comes online will see that and answer your question for you. Finally, we have our monthly newsletter, which contains a handy dandy little checklist that you should be doing on each month. On like what should be done that month, for example. For example, could be an example of a checklist. However, if you still find yourself stuck for what to put in your first email to your teacher, for example, you're in luck because the next slide is an example email, which if you want, you can just email me and I'll text you the slide or you can screenshot it if you want. I should mention though, the email does not have to be along this format when you're reaching out to your teacher. All that you need to do is send anything that promotes a healthier relationship of communication, and that'll work absolutely perfectly. And even then, if you're not feeling confident, we have our regional support chairs, who are amazing people. Here, the little numbers show the different regions of Canada for these different support groups. And there's more information to come about this for the fall.
Yeah, we are working on this one for the fall. And I just want to go back to something Adam said about the library of lessons. We're doing some significant work this summer, both on the regions and on the library. And we'll share more information toward the end of August and into September about how you can use these resources. The regional support gives you an opportunity to connect with other engineers in your area who are doing similar work, and we'll make sure that that's still available to you. And so that will come. And I mentioned the library, we're working on that. I also want to say, Adam, we're going to send out the invitation to Discord with the recording for this lesson. And so if you're not already on there, that's how you'll join the Discord channel if you want to.
If you're wondering what to do after this presentation, if you're still sitting there going, so what do I do? These are some nice next steps you can do that we recommend you pursue. Joining the Discord is always a good first step. As Sarah mentioned, the link will be in the recording, as well as joining us next week for the How to Tell Your Engineering Story. In this presentation, I'll share how I got this scar on my face and my arm. Just a little bit of teaser. I'd like to move over to this quote by Ralph Ellison. His quote is, "Education is a matter of building bridges." Here, I'd like to imagine you as the engineer as taking that first step over to the teacher and allowing the students to walk across that bridge into your world of engineering. Ralph Ellison was a 20th century American writer, African-American writer, and a scholar best known for his award-winning novel, The Invisible Man. The existential novel, published in 1952, focused on an African-American civil rights worker from the South, who upon his move to New York becomes increasingly alienated due to the racism he encounters. With millions of copies eventually printed, this novel will be regarded as a groundbreaking meditation on race and marginalized communities in America, influencing future generations of writers and thinkers. I'd like to say a special thanks to our strategic partnerships, donors, and sponsors at Engineers Tomorrow. And I'd also like to show you guys this photo of kids enjoying engineering. I'd like to show this photo to promote you guys. If there is a photo release consideration signed, feel free to take photos. Everyone loves to see kids sharing their love for engineering on their face. A nice big smile. Everyone loves that.
I would suggest you ask the teacher early on in your initial conversations if there's any concerns about sharing pictures on social media. We love to see these photos on LinkedIn and on our other socials.
There is something that we run into, sorry for injecting, with our kids. I have two boys, and we went through this process twice. A school has to ask parents a release for social media, and that's something that I'm not sure if it is umbrella. So if you go there and you take a photo for engineering activity, it has to be taken separately, this form, or it is something that maybe school could confirm, because I don't know how does it work.
Yeah, just ask the teacher when you get started, and there may be ways to take photos that don't include the kids' faces that can work as well.
Okay.
Wonderful. So Adam and I are happy to stay on for the next 20 minutes or so. Sorry, Adam, I didn't realize you had another slide there. If anyone has questions, we will stay on, and I'll let Adam do his last couple of slides here. But feel free to drop off after that. And if you want to stay on and ask questions, we'll be here for a bit.
Yeah. No, this is the last slide. Sorry. But yeah, again, we have our other training sessions. Well, there's one today on the 4th, and then we have the 11th, 18th. Those are other
Yeah,
sessions.
thank you all so much for coming to this one. That's really intended to be an introduction. I hope that you'll find that the other ones really dive into the specifics of things that should help you in the classroom. And if you can join us, great. Otherwise, we will be sending out the recordings for all of them, and you'll have that in your back pocket as a resource that you can use going forward.
Sarah, I've got a question for you.
Sure, Steve, go ahead.
Yeah, so when you're working on the library of lessons, has there been any talk of sharing cloud-based content, right? So like a lot of the presentations and a lot of the things that I'm doing, well, everything I'm doing is all cloud-based, and it's just really hard to try and share that. If there's no like, maybe there's a website with like a folder structure, or there's a Google Drive or something. So has that something that's been brought up? Because I think it's going to become more and more of a requirement moving forward.
Yeah, awesome question. And I wholeheartedly feel the exact same way. There's so much amazing content in that library, and it's presented on Airtable, which can be a little bit complicated to use. It's such a cool tool. It's really big for what we're trying to do. So our goal is going to be to make those lessons available to you using our Google Drive, so that you can look at them on your phone or on your computer, and really turn them into like a simple one-page PDF type document, so that they are available in a more cloud-based way, Steve. So I hope that that'll be easier for you to use. My goal would be for it to almost be like a Pinterest, where you can like see the lesson you want, click on it, and it just takes you to a PDF and make it really easy to use.
Right, and kind of allowing people to very easily add cloud-based content, right?
Yes, I would love that. Yeah. It has been a bit of a barrier getting people to add their lessons back onto it, because I know you all have such amazing content that you use with your classroom all the time. It'd be nice to get that into the library for other engineers to use. So that's also the goal, to make it easy to contribute and easy to use. I'm glad you raised that. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
May I add something that I was surprised by seeing as a pattern out there? Adam was talking about education. It is a building bridges process, right? I am talking about the other bridges. I found out that actually teachers are hearing about the bridge competition that is happening in April of each year. And since we have many engineers here, I would like to bring up to your attention, actually, if you don't mind, Sarah. If you do have an opportunity to mention it to your teacher, provide them the contact of the local chapter that does that, because they are aware, but they don't know to whom to connect you with on this one. And when we talk about this on our meeting, the teacher was very excited by having an opportunity to organize something on that subject, because it's so, I did participate in this activity with my son, and it was so exciting from the family point of view, from the testing. When the bridge competition is coming to place, you see how it is breaking. And that's something that just I want to mention, that this is an example where maybe this is required to go on and just advocate for this competition, a bridge building every year, because people, they are changing, the new teachers coming, and but it is really one of the activities that we could bring to the class without breaking the bank, actually.
That's a great point, Dimitri. As activities and events like that come up across the country, we want to make sure that you're aware of them. And so I'll connect with you, Dimitri, and I'll find out more about that one, and we can share that out with the network and other ones as well. There's a lot of really fun National Engineering Month activities going on. And
exactly, it is happening there.
Yeah, I think it would be nice if we can chat about that, and I'll make sure that our whole network gets access to that as an option for an activity to do with the class. Thanks for that.
I just wanted to roll back onto the file sharing discussion.
Okay.
I'm just curious if there's any appetite to probably utilize Discord a lot more. It's a very, very potent community tool, and it has file sharing capability for stuff amongst ourselves, and also if we want to archive things. I'm just wondering if that's something that might come up.
Oh, that's really cool, Saber. I never thought about that before. Let's talk, because I would love to use Discord more. That sounds amazing.
All right. I use it for my daily life anyway, so I'm very
I will
familiar
reach
with
out
it.
to you.
I've used it a fair bit as well, and I wholeheartedly agree with you, Samer. I think there's a lot of potential in the format of Discord.
Yeah, I
Alright.
wonder if we can even add the teachers, the ones who are interested, right? Create.
We have invited teachers before.
cool.
We haven't had a lot of uptake, but we'll definitely invite them again this year and see what happens. But yeah, let's talk about how we can use it better. That's awesome. Okay. Any other questions, anyone?
Yeah, sorry. This
Yeah,
one's
go ahead, Julia.
yeah, I don't think I received my teacher yet. I'm like, I don't see any email unless I'm like totally missing something.
I thought we only invited people to this session if they've been matched. I'm super surprised to hear that. I'm looking you up. Yes, Julia, we have a match for you. I'm not sure
Okay.
why you haven't seen that, and I will check in on that as soon as we get off this call.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem.
And sorry, the Discord chat as well. I totally missed how to join.
Yeah,
where-
we're gonna send out an invitation. It's like a link to Discord that will let you into our channel. We'll send it out with the recording of the session.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thanks for raising that. Is anyone else curious about who their teacher is and didn't get a match? Okay, that's good. Good. We'll fix Julia and then we'll be all set. Okay. Feel
Thank
free.
you so much.
Yeah, feel free to drop off if you feel like your questions have all been answered. Adam and I will stay here for just a little bit longer. Thank you all so much for attending today.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Great session.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you.
Take care, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Adam, thank you. I should have said something during the session. You did a great job. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks.
I think I can quickly. Am I in the? Aha.
Okay, we have a few people still on. I
Oh,
suspect that we're probably finished with the questions. Going once, going twice, anyone still on? I'm gonna stop the recording.
okay.
And yeah, thanks.